G'day viewers, I wanted to share an epic bit of mansplaining with you, seen on the Twitters today. Now, one of my favourite descriptions of Twitter I've ever seen, someone said, the way Twitter works is every day, one person is the centre of attention. The goal is to not be that person, because it's usually not attention in the good sense. It's normally people have taken exception to something someone has tweeted. And people being people, there's a weird spectrum of things that can set this off. Sometimes it's honestly quite innocuous, but people get worked up about it. Other times it's really quite extreme. And in the case of this guy I saw today, it's in and of itself, his first tweet was stupid, but not sort of stunningly stupid on a global scale. But then he insisted on doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down, etc., etc., etc. It started off fairly simply. The Guardian tweeted about an article they had, an artist whose previous exhibitions had been like 100 pictures of penises. And then there was one that was 100 pictures of nipples. And the artist's new exhibition is 100 pictures of vulvas. And this guy responds with, the correct word is vagina. And well, that's the incorrect word. The correct word is vulva. The external parts, which is what the photos were of, wasn't gynecological because the vagina is the internal part of the lady bits. So, yeah, that in and of itself, people would have just gone, oh, God, another dickhead who doesn't know body parts. But a very helpful gynecologist responded and said, hi there, I'm a gynecologist, somewhat of an expert in this field, and I even did a little Venn diagram to show you the difference and where they come together. And the guy, instead of saying, I see what you're saying, and I was misusing the term, or even just leaving it, just not responding. But no, not this guy. You might think you've seen mansplaining, but this guy is going for the Olympic gold. Assuming mansplaining gets put into the Olympics at some point, it would make more sense than some of the sports that are in the Olympics. But this guy just went for it and kept going for it with this tweet storm of why it wasn't correct to use the correct term. And he was correct to use the incorrect term. He talked about this is common usage and therefore I'm right. And sure, you're an expert and experts have their place, but are experts really in a position to tell the common man what's right and what's wrong? Yeah, that's what experts do. And sometimes people who are not aggressively proud of their ignorance listen when someone in a bright and breezy way corrects them and gives them the appropriate information. You go, oh, that's something new. As I said, not this guy. Like, people always talk about hot takes, and his hot take on why using the incorrect term was actually the correct term, that's like nuclear hot take. It's taking hot takes to their ultimate levels. This is a star exploding level hot take. And he just didn't let up. And people saying like, dude, let it go, drop it. Like, you are categorically wrong. There is no grey area. You just keep going on and on about how you using the incorrect word is actually the correct thing to do, which makes no sense whatsoever. And then when you look at his Twitter stream, apart from his extremely long tirade on vagina v vulva, virtually the only other things he tweets about are pro-Donald Trump things and pro-Proud Boys things. And who would have known that somebody who idolizes the most profoundly ignorant person on the world stage at the moment is also aggressively proud of their own ignorance? See, it's one thing to not know something. It's one thing to disagree on politics. But when you're the type of plonker who aggressively argues when you are demonstrably 100% in the wrong, you're just the majority of the internet, quite honestly. See, this is why I don't engage with trolls. People often say, oh, why do you block people and delete comments and such? Why not, engage with them? Because it's a waste of time. The idea that someone could spend most of a day announcing loudly to the world that they're aggressively proud of their ignorance and refuse to be corrected by someone who actually knows what they're talking about. It's like, he's not an isolated case. I deal with literally thousands of these fuckwits, and you give them the slightest bit of oxygen and they just keep grabbing for more, because that's what they are. Oxygen thieves. I've said it once and I'll say it again. Thanos set his sights too low.